Morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, whatever it is where you're from. I just wanted to hop in real quick and give you guys a little deck profile, deck like breakdown, stuff like that for the third place deck that I played in the Zenkai Cup on the 28th Saturday. It was a 8 round event. It was super fun. Other than the fact that I like face off against a sea of blue, we'll get down to the matchups later. I played Majin Vegeta, the Vegeta and Babidi deck. If you don't know what it does, it's Overlord, which means once per turn you take a card with Servant from the battlefield, put it on the bottom of the deck, draw a card. When it attacks, you take a life, draw a card, gets +5k and double, so it's 15 double strike on the front. And then when you're at 5 or less, you awaken, untap 2 energy. So it really helps out for like the really aggressive turns. Like turn 2 is like super explosive in this deck. It's really good. On the back, it's Babidi and Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Mightiest Majin. Overlord again. On the back, it's activate main to take a life and draw a card, get +5k and double. So it's 20 double on the back. But you can get those 2 cards in your hand before you make the decision to attack. And then activate main once per turn. You pay 1 green. Look at the bottom card of your deck. If it's a Vegeta with Servant, energy costs 3 or less, you put it into play. Otherwise, it goes back on the bottom of the deck. But you've got so many ways to make sure that the card that you on the bottom is a Vegeta that like you always hit, unless you just forget what you're doing. So this is very similar to the recent deck profile that I put out with a couple of changes, but I'll break it down a little bit more. So I play 4 of the Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Evil Awaken. Real MVP in the deck. You pay 1 for it. It's a Servant, which means he gets a +10k right off the bat. And then when it comes in, you can take a life, give it double strike, which help you self-awaken, which makes it super easy. So on turn 1, if you're on the draw, you can take a life here, take a life here if you want to, and then already be at 6. So just let your opponent hit you 1 time on the following turn, and then you can awaken. It's super, like you always awaken on turn 2 with this deck. It's very consistent. And then I play 4 the Prince of Destruction Vegeta Majin Defiance, again Servant, and it's got activate main. You pay 2, and if your leader is mono green and you have 3 more energy, you can play 1 Prince of Destruction Vegeta Prideful Warrior from your hand on top of this card in active mode. So you swing with this, or already have it out on the field. You pay 2, put the 4-drop out, and then restand it and swing again. The Prideful Warrior is a 4-cost deflect triple strike. Servant again. When it comes in, it removes 3 marks from a unison, which can be really relevant. But just being able to swing have a 30k triple striker. So the deck is a ton of double strike in like almost every swing. Realistically, you only ever have to connect about 4 times with your opponent and get 4 attacks through the whole game, which makes it really strong. And sometimes this is a finisher. I just really like it. Also, the fact that this is my favorite art in the game. Like I could not play this deck without this card. Like it's phenomenal. I love it. This is the key card in the deck, the Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Life and Death. It is double strike, Servant, so it comes out as a 30k double striker. Also has the SS4 ability that once per turn when your opponent activates a counter, it restands. So you go to swing with your 30k, you put it out on the field, pay 1 leader effect, play your 30k double striker. Swing with it first. Your opponent, may or may not negate. If they don't, you just continue to attack. 3 attacks later, they negate. Okay, well, I'm going to restand my 30k double striker and swing again. The dash pack support that it got is the Prince of Destruction Vegeta, Proud Defiance. Super good card. Like it makes the deck even more consistent, and it is unique Barrier Servant. So it's a 15k. It has a permanent where it can't attack, and if your opponent has more energy than you, it gains blocker. So if you're like me and I roll like shit, and you go second, like on turn 1, you can start playing this, and it's a blocker. So when you combo Dormant blocker, that means they're realistically going to get 1 attack through unless you have another negate. When it comes into play, you draw a card and put a card on the bottom. So usually you free play this. If this isn't already on the bottom of the deck, you free play this, put this on the bottom, pay 1, put it out. So you go here, draw a card, put this on the bottom, pay 1, play it out. And then, after you get your 1 or 2 swings off before a turn, you overlord, put it back on the bottom of the deck for the next turn. It plays for free if your leader is Evil Wizard Babidi and your opponent has at least 1 energy. So you can't play it if you're on the play on turn 1, but you can play it on turn 2. It also has activate main. If your leader is Evil Wizard Bobbity, you can take this card, you can put it on the bottom of your deck and remove a marker from Unison. In this deck, the only super combo that you can play, like it's hands down no choice, is the Great Saiyaman Vanquisher ability. If you're 4 or less, bottom deck a card. Any one of these that you want, you bottom deck draw 2. So it's just another way for you to continually get 3-drop on the bottom of the deck. As part of the rest of the attack package, I played 2 of the Bardock Awakened Instincts. It's Overrealm 4, so it's easy to Overrealm, and then you draw 2, discard 1. Just more consistency, more ways to filter through the deck to find your main pieces that are going to be attacking. And being a 20k body is actually pretty relevant, especially against like the red decks that want to like neg stuff by 15 a lot. It still doesn't kill this, so you go to play it. They neg it by 15. You can choose this combo power for one of your bigger guys. Again, to help with consistency, I play 3 of the Bobbity Evil Mind Snatcher. It's got 2 abilities. The only one that matters here is when you play it, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, put a Vegeta with Servant into your hand. You can also activate the Majin Quickening Field spell, but I don't play it in this deck because after the errata, I just don't think it's nearly as good as it was before. I like focusing on the Majin Vegeta package. But if nothing else, if you can't do anything else turn 1, you pay this, put one of your main attackers in your hand, and that's combo power for the first double strike swing. Because of the fact that the Servant doesn't allow you to restand during your charge step, you do sometimes end up with a lot of like battle cards that are just sitting out on the field. So I play 2 of the Paragus, which says once per turn you put one of your green cards into the drop, and you draw a card. It's also a 1-drop, which helps out to give you more stuff that you can play off the Unison. So with this, there's 13 1-drops in the deck that I can play off this. It is a 2-cost Unison, but has an activate main. If your leader is mono green, your opponent has 7 more cards in hand, which is really easy to do when you're swinging a bunch of double strikes. They're almost always going to have 7 cards in hand. You can play it with 1 marker on it, or 1. It has 1 ability. It's +1. You choose a card in your hand, put it on the bottom. You and your opponent both draw a card, which seems bad at face value, but when your opponents happen to combo 4, 5, 6 cards to get every swing, that 1 extra card doesn't really help them all that much. And then also, you free play a 1-drop from your hand. So if you go, if your opponent is on the play, you're on the draw, you go to your turn, charge, swing a double striker, put them at 7 cards, play this, roll it up, draw a card, play your double striker here. That gives you 2 double strikes and a single strike swing on turn 1. So potentially like threatening to take your opponent down to 3 on turn 1 is really scary. It's come up a few times. It didn't come up during the tournament, but it also has Rejuvenate. So if you remove 4 markers from the Unison, or remove a card from underneath it, you can take the top card of your life, or top card of your deck, put it in your life. So I have had a few times where I would do like not activate the activate main on leader, do that, and then activate main on leader. Just because it is a very aggressive deck and you're tapping out almost every single turn. I play 4 the Dormant Potential. Counter attack. You play it, your opponent can only attack 1 more time for the turn. It's free if you have the Unison out. And again, if you have this blocker out, you can Dormant, block, and then potentially have another blocker just combo out of the next attack. All right, well, I'll just super combo, put this guy on the bottom of my deck on the next swing. To keep the deck lean, I only run 2 of the Charismatic Villain. Counterplay, KO something 7 costs or less as part of the auto. It's really good, but in most of the time, like I'm wanting to have the game over on turn 2 or turn 3. So there's not always a whole bunch of really juicy targets that I want for that. So I don't play that many. And plus, like this list is at like 53 cards, and I want to keep it really lean and consistent. I play 2 of the Goku Faded Rival. Double Strike Barrier. If your leader's green, when it's played, you KO battle card ignoring barrier, which is good if you want to get rid of a blocker, or like against Trunks Cheetah, get rid of the 3-drop Trunks that makes you put something to rest. Plus, this has barrier, so if this is the first card you play per turn, Trunks will go to choose it, and it can't because it has barrier, so that effect's turned off for the game. If you have 3 more energy, you can pay 2, activate main, put a Saiyan, Earthling, or Namekian on the bottom of your deck from your Z energy, and play this card. So if you need another way to get this on the bottom of the deck, you can swing with leader or a battle card, combo this, Z charge, play Goku, put it on the bottom of the deck, pay 1, put it out. A little tech card that I really, really like in this deck is I play 2 of the Zarbon, the Emperor's Attendant. It's yellow, but it has an auto during your opponent's turn. When you combo with this card, you choose one of your battle cards and switch it to active mode. I've had it come up a couple times. It never did during the tournament, but in testing, it came up a lot where I would go dormant, block. They'd be like, well, no point in comboing big into a 15k blocker, so just leave it at 15, and I'll be like, okay, well, I can combo with Zarbon, take it to 20, restand it, and then block the next attack as well, which just shuts your opponent down for the whole turn. Another way that I have for that is I play 2 of the Majin Buu thwarting the enemy. It's counterattack limit 1. If your leader card is green, you negate the attack and then play this in rest mode. If you negate a leader swing with this, your opponent can attack with leader for the rest of the turn. So with SS4 running around and then wanting to like restand that, or with Trunks Vegeta now that has that promo that they can combo with and restand something like their leader, this can stop them from getting multiple attacks with their leader. It's also good again if you go dormant, block, or combo out, and then the next attack you just negate with this, because you can also, it has a permanent, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by removing 2 markers from unison, or Spirit Boost 2. So you can potentially go into your opponent's turn completely tapped out, and then dormant, block, free play this with Spirit Boost, and stop their whole turn. Which is really key because this deck will take a lot of its life really, really fast just to build a big hand and get advantage. And to keep with that, because floodgates are a thing and floodgates can hurt the deck, I play 2 of the Dark Death Ball. Again, if you have a unison in play, the battle card being placed has energy cost of 4 or less. It goes to the drop instead of being played. So they get the negate off their floodgates, but then you can get rid of that so they don't get the floodgate effect. And then you can activate it for free if you have unison out by pitching 2 cards from hand. Which, it kind of hurts, but what's better, just getting rid of the 2 cards and stopping your opponent from being able to floodgate you for the turn, which most decks are going to only have like 1 energy up, and they're going to play that floodgate, or 2 energy up, play that floodgate, and then they're tapped out, which means it's open field day for, double strike, double strike, triple strike, double strike, like just keep going ham. I played 1 homicidal clones. I was at 2 for a long time. I ended up cutting it down to 1 because the deck is really, really hard on its own life, and with a couple different decks, SCRs, things like that, being able to burn you for a life, it's really, really hard to go down to 1 with this. When some of the stuff, like especially blue and red, can both just burn you for the life and win the game. I play 1 Golden Frieza, Newfound Knight. It's really good as like a game ender. If you get to your, or if your opponent is playing really, really defensive, it gets a lot of negates, and you get past like turn 3. Dual attack blocker. When you play it, if it has 3 more markers on it, or if it has 4 more markers on it, you KO your opponent's battle cards. Does not ignore barrier. But the big thing is, you roll it down 4 and it gets plus 10k in triple strike, and it's already dual attack. So you're paying 3 for a 30k triple strike dual attack that also restands at the end of turn. It can still block if they somehow survive that. Just because it's a really good card and I could not play the deck without it. I play 1 of the Gohan Latent Power Unleashed. When you Z charge it, you pay 1, remove 3 marks from unison. It's really good against blue to get rid of the Buu. You just wait until they roll it down to bottom deck something, or they go to block, and you just combo with this, pay 1, kill Buu unison. It's also deflect critical. You can pay 2 if you're at 4 or less life. And you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, and then this card can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills until their next turn. So it can be relevant as an attacker. I very rarely use it for that. It's mostly just there to kill unisons, but it can be. So previously I was playing Tapions in this list to give me something extra to play turn 1, but expecting a huge, huge sea of blue in the Zenkai Cup, I decided to change it out. And I played 2 of the Vegeta protecting his loved ones. Barrier, when it's played, draw a card, which also is a 1-drop, which means this can play it. And if your opponent activates a counter skill and attempts to switch an energy to active mode, you get to choose one of your opponent's life, send it to the drop, and one of their energy send to the drop. So this is really good, and it really, really slows down the blue decks to help you push your damage through a lot more. And then SCR of choice, I think hands down Pan is phenomenal, because One is a floodgate if you need it to. Like you can play it if it gets reduced by 2 for each battle card that you have in play, which most of the time you're gonna have 3, 4 battle cards out. Your opponent might have 1 or 2. But so essentially you can play it for free, and then your opponent can attack with battle cards for the turn. So if they swing with leader first and you pan, again, another way to just shut their whole turn down. Also, I like it because it's a permanent that for each battle card in play is reduced by 2. So if you flood the board with a bunch of guys and play all your stuff out, tap all your energy, overwhelm, your opponent thinks they're good, they go down to 1 life, not too many cards left in hand, and then you just well, pan, I'm gonna swing for 40, combo my hand out. And then it's also got the Hero's Lineage effect that you pay 1, remove the card from game, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, gain control of it. I very, very rarely use that, but it is there if you want to do it. As far as the Z deck goes, I played 2 of the Vegeta Surmounting the Impossible. Super good in this deck because if your opponent decides that they're not going to attack into you, this is a way to help you get to 5 life. But it's also gives you another way to put the 3-drop onto the bottom of the deck. Because when it comes in, you place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of the deck, take up to 1 life, and you draw a card. So this card for this deck basically says, pay 1, put this guy on the bottom, and draw a card. Which is super good. And if you need to, if you really need to, you can, pay 1, it gives you a 5k attacker that you can combo a bunch into and try and go for the game. I played 1 of the SS Son Goku Awakened by Rage. Most of its skills are only for leaders of Goku. But the main one is you pay 1, it gets plus 5k for the turn and can't be removed by skills. So if you just need to get that one more swing through, so it comes out as it's a 1-drop, 15k for 2 Z energy, and then you swing dump hand, they can't remove it. Like the blues, they can't bottom deck it with the Realm of the Gods Beers, things like that. I played 2 of the Frieza Resurrected Ambition. 2 cost, 1 Z energy, deflect, double strike. When it's played, you KO one of your opponent's battle cards, 5 or less. And then also, when you swing with a battle card, a green battle card, energy cost of 2 or more, you can remove a Z energy, or move a Z energy from the Z energy to the drop, and they have to discard a card. Mainly, the biggest thing is it gives me another double striker. It's super on theme. Again, just trying to get just 4 attacks through max. That's what you have to worry about. I played 1 Jiren the Immovable, again, just in case I was worried about unison, things like that. It's also deflect, and if you play it, you can choose one of your battle cards, and it can't be removed by your opponent's skill to the end of the next turn. So if you really want this guy or something like that to get through, you can pay 2, make sure it can't get removed by Jiren. It's also got the activate main. You can put any number of your Z energy into the drop, choose one of your opponent's unison, and remove that many markers from it. And this card gets plus 10k double strike for the turn. So again, you can have you pay 2, play a 25k double striker. And I tested it out. I played it 1 matchup, so I don't know how great it was, but it did seem pretty good. I played 1 of the Golden Frieza, Return of the Destroyer. It is, again, deflect, which is huge in green, having stuff with deflect, and double strike. It's 4 Z energy, but it's reduced by 1 for each unison in your drop. So if you go to the turn when you rejuvenate, or if you've been pitching these for dormant, or whatever, or pitch it Dark Death Ball, whatever you need to do, you can get that down. But most of the time, you can get to 4 Z energy pretty quick because you're going to be comboing a lot in this deck, because you want your opponent to have to get rid of as many cards as possible. So when you swing, most of the time, I'm going to combo at least 1 card into it. So on the front, my 15, I want it to be 20. On the back, I want my 20 to be 25. I want these to be 20. I want these to be 35. That's just 1 extra card, or the potential for them to have to be forced to use a super combo to get over it. It's also got an auto once per turn. If it's your turn, one of your unisons goes to the drop. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore a barrier, and KO it. And this card is plus 5k power for the turn. So if you're going to go to rejuvenate on your turn, you play this first, rejuvenate, KO one of their battle cards, ignore a barrier, and then this becomes a 25k double strike, which is really, really relevant. The other ability only works if your leader's a Frieza clan, which is because this deck is made for the cooler unison deck. But if it is there, you can pay 2 and play the Golden Frieza. As far as the matchups went, round 1 I played against SS4 Gogeta. Round 2 I played against Gamma. Round 3 I played against Beerus. Legends was on that deck. Big shout out to Legends. His deck was great. It really pushed me really hard, and he ended up just getting to the paying 16, winning the game. But it was a really hard match. Like it pushed the deck. I think I went to like turn 5 or turn 6, which is really, really hard. But I was able to also stay alive for like 6 turns, which I think is a big, big thing for the deck. And being able to say that it could do that was really awesome. But I did get my one loss there. Round 4, I played against Gamma again. Round 5, I played the Crit Goku. Um, Round 6, I played Skillless Gohan, which like scared the crap out of me because he got me down to 4 life, and I started having to like combo a bunch of cards out of my hand on on turn 2, which was really, really scary for me. Honestly, I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to win that game, but he either didn't play that many defensive cards or didn't see them, and I was able to just push through his defenses. I think that game went like 4 turns. And it was just both of us just back and forth, just turn the card sideways, smash, turn card sideways, smash. Round 7, I played against Crimson, which if I believe I went first on that game, and like I'm forced him to utilize the cards underneath his leader like over time just to like help him get over, you know, 4 here, 2 here, just extra to like not cost him 1 extra card in hand. But in the end, I ended up getting that. And then in round 8, I was able to go first and against Beers, and I just clapped into him. Like I just went full ham. I'm trying. It was one of the one drops. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was the Vegeta protecting his level ones. Like he comboed out all my attacks and finally got down. He had 1 life left. Uh, all tapped out completely. The only thing I had up was Vegeta. I was all tapped out, so I just went in Vegeta and just got it super big. I just dumped my whole hand into the little 4K and was able to get there with it. Yeah, so overall 7-1. I do understand like this is a rogue deck and there might be some matchups that are a little bit rough. Like I didn't play against a ton of like different colors. Like I played blue 7 out of my 8 rounds, which is what I expected. Which that's the reason I chose the deck, because I expected there to be a whole bunch of blue there, and that's why I take these cards in, which aren't normally in the deck. They're in the sideboard. Um, but if you're looking for a really, really good, consistent, strong rogue deck that can just clap on turn 2 or turn 3, this is a really, really good choice. But I do want to do a big shout out to PPG. Like they ran a great event. Everything was super tight. Everything was on time. I want to do another huge, huge shout out to Pro Mats, which if you watch my stream of the event, I end up using 2 Pro Mats. This one actually came in the mail halfway through the event, so I threw it out there. But the one I was playing before that was also a Pro Mats mat. Super high quality, great prices. Everything comes, stitched edges, with your name on it, however you want to do it. Like contact Jerry if you want a really good high quality mat. Like he is the man to go for. Also want to shout out Davidson TCG. Unfortunately, because of the PPG event, I wasn't able to use a custom leader, but he does make these awesome metal custom leaders, and his stuff is getting even. But every time he puts out something new, it blows my mind. I'm hoping that one of these days he'll get another one of those really cool textured ones, or maybe I'll just do a commission because he also does those now, and get one of those. But if you guys are looking for good leaders, good mats, check those guys out. They are awesome, and they're always willing to cut you a good deal. But you guys let me know what you think of the deck. If you like it, steal it, run it. I would love to see, in the next event, just a field of green decks just hammering in there, just trying to get it. But I think that's about wrap it up. Again, tell me what you guys think. Let me know. Huge shout out again to Pro Mats, Davidson, and PPG for running an awesome event. Shout out to the judges. Everything was cool. But that is going to be it for me. You guys have a good night.